Well, the VA problem, or Veterans Administration problems, are really ramping up. This started in this round a couple of months ago, where 40 VA patients from Phoenix, Arizona VA hospital died while being side-railed for 256 days waiting for treatment so that the top administrators could get bonuses for keeping the yearly budget figures within the budget limits. Okay, they keep within the budget limits, they get a bonus. Well, they just side-railed several hundred patients, but 40 of them died during that time, 256 days of side-railing, okay, to keep within the budget. Somebody needs to go to jail here. 1999, and I've been using this slide ever since my presentation, 1999, the VA administration themselves did an investigation. They found that there were tens of thousands, maybe as many as 100,000 sort of simple errors made throughout the VA system each year in America. 3,000 of these errors were so severe it required the VA patient to remain for the rest of their life in the VA hospital. Of those 3,000 major errors, and this is their words, this is the VA administration's words, each year in America, medical doctors kill, K-I-L-L, 700 veterans in VA hospitals. Okay? And so last year in Afghanistan, the enemies killed 375 of our active military personnel. So you're actually safer on the field of battle than you are in a VA hospital. This is absolutely outrageous. Now, I spent 20 years in the military. I'm here to tell you that this really offends me. And so what I'm doing here is I'm going to remind everybody there's two things we can do for our veterans, two things we can do. Number one, take care of them so they don't need to go to the VA system. I'll get into that in a second. But also, I want every veteran who wants a business in Youngevity. This is veterans from the current wars in Afghanistan and Iraq in the Middle East. It looks like Libya is heating up again. Okay? Anybody from the Middle East, since the Gulf War backwards to now, including the Gulf War, who wants to be a business associate at the beginning steps at $10 per person, that's a one-time fee of $10, I will personally pay that. I'll personally pay the $10 for any veteran from the Gulf War through now, okay, who will be an active Youngevity associate. They've got to qualify, they've got to buy their own products and so forth, but I'll pay the $10 for them to get in and help them earn a check. They'll be able to, very quickly, they'll be able to build a structured business. We'll actually train them for nothing. We will train them for nothing to do this new thing to help their fellow men and women, their military personnel, veterans, and with the Healthy Start Pack. Okay, they can do that, and they'll actually get a check from us every month. At least, at the very least, they'll be able to pay for their own products. And I will pay the $10 one-time fee for them to actually start their business. We have to do this. We got to get them going in business because they're not getting jobs when they're coming back. We got to keep them healthy. I want everybody out there to make sure that the veterans in your area, I'll pay the $10 to go from the Gulf War forward till now. I want you to buy them that trilogy of books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Be Herbal Doctor, and Passport Aromatherapy, so they can learn how to deal with over 900 different diseases using vitamins and minerals and trace minerals and rare earths, amino acids, fatty acids, herbs, aromatherapy, alls. That's the trilogy of books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Be Herbal Doctor, and Passport Aromatherapy, and they become legitimately tax-deductible if they run their business as a reference file, as an office reference file. Now, don't forget, also in Let's Play Doctor, it teaches you how to read laboratory data. You know, even if somebody had a blood work 10 years ago, they can still read the information and figure out what the numbers and abbreviations mean. Also, it teaches you how to do your own laboratory work. People say, well, I got Agent Orange, I've got parasites, I've got this and that, I've got something going on here. What is it? Well, the book, Let's Play Doctor, in the chapter on home laboratory, teaches you how to do your own urinalysis, teach you how to do your own blood work, and how to read blood pressures, how to read blood chemistries, how to do them. You can go to a pharmacy without a prescription, and you can get the same test strips your doctor will use in his office for a physical. Okay? He'll charge you $800 to $2,000 for the physical, and you can do these physicals yourself for less than $5. Get the same test strips that they get for less than $5. Okay, that includes all. I mean, they're usually run anywhere, depending on how many you get in the jar. They're like $1 to $1.50 each strip, and so you get 3 strips and a couple other things. A lot of stuff you can get for free. You go into any pharmacy and sit in the chair, put your arm in the chair, push the button, and it gives you your pulse and your blood pressure. You don't even need to pay for that. You don't even need to buy an instrument. You may have friends who have diabetes, and they'll be able to use their diabetes blood measuring machine to test your blood sugar. Well, look at that, blood sugar and A1C hemoglobin. These are all great tests. And then you don't need to get a colonoscopy. Well, you're over 40 years old. My doctor said I need a colonoscopic exam. No, you don't. You can use what's called an occult blood test or a FIT test. FIT is an acronym for fecal immunochemical test. Both of those, the FIT test and the occult blood test, gives you the same information that a colonoscopic exam does without giving you any risk of getting your intestines punctured and dying of peritonitis, a belly infection. I urge you, every time you get your family together, we're talking Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, 4th of July, anytime you're getting the family together, Labor Day, Veterans Day, guess what? Give everybody a physical. The greatest gift of all. Get our veterans a longevity business. Let's save them financially and healthily. We can do it. Let's forget the government. They have failed us. The medical system and the VA system has failed us. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie for these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us?
Well, I thought of you, Doc, when I saw this story at first because of how much you travel. And the headline of this CNN story reads, E. coli and MRSA can survive for days on planes. They say, ever sit on a plane and wonder how long the germs left by passengers past plan on hanging around? Well, they did a study at Auburn University, and in this study they examined just how long two deadly bacteria, E. coli and MRSA, can live on various surfaces inside of a plane's cabin and how easily they are transmitted by contact. They actually got armrests and toilet flush handles, tray tables, window shades, seats, and seat pockets provided by Delta Airlines for the study. They inoculated them with the bacteria and stored them in conditions that were meant to simulate a pressurized cabin at 75 degrees Fahrenheit and 20% humidity. In general, the bacteria lived longest on the most porous surfaces. MRSA lasted 7 days on the cloth seat pocket, 6 days on the rubber armrest and leather seat, 5 days on the plastic window shade and tray table, and 4 days on the steel toilet handle. E. coli survived for 4 days on the rubber armrest, 3 days on the plastic tray table, and 2 days on the toilet seat. According to the study author, Kirill Vagelnov, and said in small nooks like ones created by a pore, they are protected from environmental stressors like dehydration, UV, and disinfectants. They say the same porous material that provided a protection for the bacteria also seemed to prevent them from spreading easily. Say, by contrast, the bacteria on less porous materials like tray tables and toilet handles and window shades scored much higher than seat pockets and leather seats for transmissibility, meaning the bacteria on these surfaces far more likely to transfer to human skin. And of course, they say you can use one of these, hand sanitizers to protect yourself, according to Michael Schmidt, a professor of microbiology and immunology at the Medical University of South Carolina. Says, after I wipe my hands, I use the rest of the alcohol wipe to wipe down the tabletop just in case I touch it inadvertently eating something. And the study did not take bacterial samples from actual aircraft cabins, but just used these things and tried to simulate the environment. This was all funded by the Federal Aviation Administration. So definitely, if you're out there traveling, you might want to get yourself some of the Pure Works and drag along with you and spray down everything around you, maybe even the person sitting next to you.
Exactly. Also, in addition to the Pure Works, I mean, I love the spray, I love the foam. And as you point out, I love the liquid soap. When you go into hotels or even your workplace every morning, gosh, you don't want to watch, the toilet seats and put toilet paper on the toilet seats, telephone receivers, computer keyboards. The dirtiest thing in a hotel room, they say, is the TV remote. I wonder how that happens. Okay, I wonder if anybody's ever got them caught up in their rectum. I mean, why is there so much dirt and bacteria and viruses and fungus on TV remotes? I don't know. That's pretty scary.
It's a bad enough problem that the last couple times I've stayed in hotels, they actually are making TV remotes now where the plastic is impregnated with a antibacterial substance of some sort, and then they store them in these special little containers so that they're not just laying around on the desktop, because it's become such a big problem.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, I love the Pure Works because the sanitizing power of PureWorks and the killing power of PureWorks works for 3 to 5 hours after it dries. Purell and the other alcohol-based hand sanitizers only work while they're wet. And then I find it interesting that people wave their hands around to make it dry quicker. They really only get maybe 10 seconds to, at the maximum, 10, 20, 30 seconds of kill, and then they're susceptible again. PureWorks, whether it's the spray, the foam, the soap, or the lotion, kills for 3 to 5 hours after it dries. How good is that? PureWorks. Get it on your hands and get your hands on PureWorks. Be back. The dead doctors don't lie after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Louisiana. And Chelsea, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Chelsea, you're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Chelsea. How can we help you?
I was wondering, my husband was diagnosed a year ago with type 2 diabetes, and we had his testosterone level tested. It was 156.
Okay, I'm missing that. You're kind of breaking up. Wait a minute. You're breaking up a little bit here. Your husband was diagnosed with what?
Type 2 diabetes, and
okay.
We had his testosterone level tested, too, and it was 156. And I was wondering if there was anything that could help that and get rid of the diabetes.
Sure. How much does he weigh?
180.
Okay. Does he have any other issues? Arthritis, high blood pressure, kidney failure?
No.
Okay, good. All right. What I would do is get him on 2 of the healthy blood sugar packs per month. Okay, that would allow him to have 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangerine 2.0 NutriCrystals at breakfast and dinner, 3 of the EFA Pluses at breakfast and dinner, and also allow him to have 3 of the Sweeties twice a day. 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner. Make sure he's taking his fasting blood sugar every morning before he medicates himself. And then as his blood sugar drops, and it will, he already knows how to adjust his medication. When his blood sugar goes down, he takes less medication. Blood sugar goes up, he takes more medication. He'll get to a point where his blood sugar is below 100 without medication for 5, 6, 8, 10 days in a row. He's an ex-diabetic at that point. How long does he have to stay on the 90 for life or the healthy blood sugar pack? Forever. Okay, because it's not in the food anymore. Now, for the testosterone issue, I would have him eat 6 to 8 eggs a day. They can be poached with soft yolks. It could be soft boiled with soft yolks. It can be soft scrambled in butter, not margarine or oils. If you can eat them with a fork, they've been cooked too hard. They'd be almost soupy where you could have to eat them with a spoon. And then I would also we actually have a product called GTO, like the old car. It's an acronym for Get Turned On. It's meant for men. It has a blend of herbs in there that actually encourage the Sertoli cells in the testicle to make more testosterone. Okay, it's called GTO, Get Turned On. It never fails. I have billionaires who buy cases of it every month. Give us a call every couple of weeks, Chelsea. Let us know how his type 2 diabetes is, and wouldn't hurt to give a scream or two when his low T gets to be high T. We'll be back after these messages.
Let's head to California. And Willis, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Willis. You're on the air.
Hi, Doctor.
Yes, sir. How can we help you?
Concerning my wife, has had chronic diarrhea over the last years. She was one time diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and she took a medication called Asacol or Asacol.
Mm-hmm. Asacol, I know it.
And it has returned periodically. And
okay.
Wondering if
how much does she weigh? How much does she weigh?
My wife is about 175.
Okay, and how tall is she?
70.
Yeah, 70 years old, and how tall is she?
She's 5'8".
Okay, now let me ask you just a couple of quick questions here. I'm going to turn this one over to Shar because she already knows what the problem is here. She's had chronic diarrhea for a long time. She has ulcerative colitis. Now, do you have any children?
Not in the house.
Okay, that doesn't matter. Okay, you have 3 kids. Okay. Now, do any of them have any of the similar illnesses as your wife? Do they have any skin problems like eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, any respiratory problems, chronic bronchitis or asthma, diarrhea, constipation, ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, anything like that in your children?
I would have to say no. However, my wife does have some rosacea at times.
Okay, she has rosacea. Okay, it comes and goes. Okay, sure. Well, that would. I'm going to let Shar respond to this. Okay, hang on here. I keep wanting to call you Bruce, but it's Willis. Okay, hang on.
Hi, Willis.
Hi.
Your wife has a chronic gluten intolerance, and that's why she can't absorb what little nutrition is in the food. So she needs to get on a gluten-free diet, no wheat, barley, rye, or oats immediately, and all her problems will go away.
Plus the 90.
Plus the 90, of course. Oh, yeah, can't forget that.
Okay, you get 100 points there. There's an A+, Shar. But exactly right. Your wife needs to be on a drop-dead gluten-free diet. You, sir, have to go on a gluten-free diet. Anybody who lives in the house, dog, cat, bird, fish, mother-in-law, anybody living in the house, kids, grandkids, even if they come for a week, everybody's got to be gluten-free because of cross-contamination in the laundry, the food preparation surfaces, the couch where everybody watches TV, the rugs in the bed. And so you guys, everybody's got to be gluten-free in the house. And then at 175 pounds, I'd give her 2 of the healthy digestive packs per month. That will allow her to have all 90 essential nutrients plus the ultimate enzymes. And Shar said the ulcerative colitis goes away, the diarrhea goes away, the rosacea goes away. And everybody out there, listen, this is a very common problem. According to some experts, 70% of Americans are gluten intolerant. This is not a rare thing. And these are some of the classic symptoms that you will see with chronic gluten intolerance and then exposure to it. Okay, these symptoms go away if you get off of gluten and take your 90 essential nutrients. Give us a call every couple of weeks, Willis, and let us know how your wife is responding to the restricted diet and the supplement program. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Independence, Missouri, and Doug, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Oh, Doug, you're on the air.
Oh, Dr. Wallach, hi. Hey,
yes, sir. How can we help you?
I just met a lady, 120 pounds, has rheumatoid arthritis. And she's been off gluten for like 2 years, but she has terrible constipation yet. And after talking to her for a long time, we're just frustrated. I finally found out that she eats oatmeal every day.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's very common. People are told that oatmeal is gluten-free. That's absolutely, positively not true. Oatmeal is heavily laden with gluten, but it's called a different name in oatmeal. It's called gliadin. Okay, so they say, well, no, there's no gluten in here. What's this gliadin stuff? Oh, that's the protein in oats. Well, it's actually gluten. Okay, and so, yeah, she's got to give that up. No wheat, barley, rye, or oats. And Doug, I'd give her that CD called Serial Killer so she can find out all the hidden places that gluten's in. It's crazy. Well, every grocery store now has at least 1, maybe 2 gluten-free aisles because 70% of Americans are gluten intolerant. So it's imperative that even her spouse, her kids, mother-in-law, anybody in the house has got to be gluten-free. Okay, so we do have the rheumatoid arthritis. I'm going to give this one to Shar here. Is there anything else she has? High blood pressure, diabetes, anything like that?
Something for the constipation yet, or if that's going to clear up right away when she gets out the oatmeal.
Yeah, that'll help her do that. Also, for the constipation, she could have the herbal rainforest. Yeah, herbal rainforest for the constipation. At 120 pounds, I'd give her a tablespoon, which is a half ounce at bedtime, with a glass of water. If you give her a full ounce, she may go the other direction and get diarrhea. But hang on here. Okay. I'll let Shar tell you what she needs to do for her RA, a.k.a. rheumatoid arthritis.
Hi, you need the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, but you also need to add the killer biotic to it to kill the bug that's causing the extra problem. Killer biotic.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. How come rheumatologists don't know that? Well, the crime is they do know that. They do know that because it's been reported there's so much research on minocycline, which is a member of the tetracycline family, which kills mycoplasma, which is the bug that causes rheumatoid arthritis. And so if you don't like to use herbs, just get the doctor to write your prescription. And he will be freaked out that you know about minocycline. Because you can kill that bug. You can kill the mycoplasma bug that causes rheumatoid arthritis in 2 weeks with either minocycline or maybe 30 to 60 days with what we call killer biotic. And I just don't like antibiotics unless you really, really need them. If you've had rheumatoid arthritis for 20 years, it was another couple of months, right? So go ahead and try the killer biotic 3 times a day, or unless you weigh more than 150 pounds. And so 3 times a day would seem good for this lady. And stay away from all the inflammatory things. No carbonated drinks, no fried foods, no processed meats with nitrates and nitrites, no oils, no olive oil, no coconut oil, no margarine, mayonnaise, salad dressing, cooking oils. Canned fish got to be packed in water, mustard, tomato sauce, not oil. And no gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, oats. Get her that CD, and you call us every couple of weeks. This should be a drop-dead easy one. But, yeah, everybody out there, don't think there's any such thing as gluten-free oatmeal. Instead of, it's kind of like saying, I don't have a car, I have an automobile. Same sort of thing. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
All right, let's head to Southern California, and Cheryl Lynn, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Cheryl Lynn, you're on the air.
Hey, Doc, how are you today?
Okay, how can I help you?
A gentleman who is 60, 190 pounds, 5 foot 6'1", and he has cholesterol in his eyes from his last eye exam last week. He's
that means he's got some plugged arteries in his eyes.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Okay. No. That I just want to make sure because you said he had cholesterol in his eyes. I didn't know if you meant he had cholesterol floating around inside his eyes, or is actually they're talking about the blood vessels.
Okay. They said that the eye doctor said you have cholesterol in your eyes. You need to go have it checked and see what your cholesterol levels are.
Okay. Probably he's talking about cholesterol or obstructions in the eyes. You say the guy weighs 190 pounds. Does he have anything else we know of? High blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis?
No, I love the information on GTO because I didn't know that helped low T, and I know that he's had a problem with it. He's one number above the low level. So
yeah, and that goes along with PAD, peripheral artery disease, obstructive artery disease, because to get an erection, you need good blood flow, right? So that individual would have, if they got blocked arteries in the eye, they're going to have blocked arteries in the brain, so he might even have a little dementia beginning, vascular dementia. Could have coronary artery disease. He could have also, again, erectile dysfunction, low T, all that kind of stuff. What I would give him, well, I'm going to turn this over to Char, because this is another one that she could deal with here very, very well. Hang on.
Hi. He needs the Ultimate Daily. It's a Roto-Rooter vitamin. It's an oral, I call it the Roto-Rooter vitamin. It's an oral chelator, and it slowly basically dissolves and takes all the plaque and junk out of your arteries and cleans them up, and you're a new person. And everything flows like it's supposed to.
Okay, very good. So, at 190 pounds, I'd give him 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I'd also, as Shar said, give him the Ultimate Daily tablets. Since the eye doctor has seen the obstructed arteries in his eyes, which means he probably has obstructed arteries in his brain, his heart, and his kidneys also, I'd have him take 9 of those Ultimate Daily tablets a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner. And let me know what his numbers are on his cholesterol, because normal cholesterol is 220 to 270. There's not a single disease that's caused by elevated blood cholesterol. When they have obstructed arteries, whether it's in the eye, the heart, the brain, or the kidneys, it's a mixture. Plaque is a mixture of blood clots, scar tissue, a little bit of cholesterol, a little bit of saturated fat, all kinds of stuff in there. And I used to do special stains to determine what percentage was each one of those categories. I actually wrote a paper in 1971 comparing obstructed arteries in vegetarians, vegans, and meat eaters. And there's not a single disease that's caused by elevated blood cholesterol. Probably I'll get into that tomorrow and go into what causes all this obstructed artery disease. But it's not saturated fat, and it's not cholesterol that causes obstructed arteries. But anyway, give us a call every couple of weeks, Cheryl. Let us know how this guy's doing, because this can be resolved fairly quickly. Okay, Doug, we have time to start another one?
Yeah, we could get started here. Let's head to Wyoming. And Dee, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Dee, you're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. How are you?
Fine. How you doing?
Good. Hey, my mom has a dog, 7 years old. He weighs 62 pounds. He's having some issues. He's very lethargic. You can't touch his tail or his hind end. He has weakness in his back legs. He has trouble jumping. And he's also had to have his glands squeezed like 3 times since March.
Okay, what type of dog is he?
He is a black lab.
Okay, and only weighs 62 pounds?
Yes.
Okay, well, hang on, Dee. We'll be back, and we'll tell you exactly what needs to be done with the black lab. With weak glands, weak legs, weak back, and lethargic. We'll be back after these messages. We're back with Dead Doctors Online, the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Longevity and 90 for Life Crusade. And Doug, let's go right back to Wyoming and Dee. Okay, I believe that this dog jumped off a couch or jumped up on something and actually has a disc problem in the lumbar area. And what I would do is give this dog 3 scoops of the Arthrodex per day in his food, 1 scoop for 25 pounds of body weight, but because he does have a musculoskeletal problem, which is causing peripheral neuropathies in the tail, the legs, and giving him a pain sensation when you touch him and all that kind of stuff, very typical peripheral neuropathies. So 3 scoops of the Arthrodex in his food every day, and I would also throw in 5 glucogel capsules a day. You got to open them up and dump the powder in. And I would throw in also 3 of the EFA pluses per day, and wouldn't hurt to also get the CM Plus capsules. Give him 2 of those CM Plus capsules twice a day, once in the morning when he wakes up, and then about maybe after dinner, 8 o'clock, give him those CM Plus capsules. Guess what? He's going to be a new dog in about a week or 2. This dog will just be acting like a 6-month-old puppy again. Don't let him do any surgery. Okay, Doug, let's squish in one more.
All right, let's head to Illinois. And Sharon, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Sharon, you're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hi, how can we help you?
I have a friend, Becky. She's 40 years old. She has chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, occasional high blood sugars, hypertension, bony spurs in her neck, teeth and gum problems, osteoarthritis.
Okay. Has arthritis, high blood pressure, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, bone spurs, and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to turn this one over to Shar. How much does this gal weigh, you think?
140 pounds.
140 pounds. Okay. Shar, this is a Shar thing. High blood pressure.
Hi. Anybody who has multiple illnesses like this and keeps getting more, it's a gluten intolerance because you're not absorbing. And when you can't absorb what little nutrition is in the food, you come down with whatever disease that lack of that nutrient causes. So you got to get on a gluten-free diet. No wheat, barley, rye, or oats, absolutely, right away. And healthy bone and joint pack and add Ultimate Daily and selenium. Okay.
Okay, very good. Now, this should be pretty straightforward again. At 120 pounds, be 1 healthy bone and joint pack per month, 3 of the Ultimate Daily tablets for breakfast and dinner. That's 1 bottle a month. I'd give her 3 selenium twice a day. It's a little heavy, but this is particularly for the fibromyalgia. I would also have her take the, for the bone spurs, I'd get an extra bottle of the osteo. She could take an ounce twice a day. Everything else, a half a dose twice a day. And the chronic fatigue syndrome wouldn't hurt to throw in the de-stress capsules. You could take 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month. Stay away from sugar, fried foods, processed meats. As Shar said, this is a classic gluten intolerance picture where you have multiple major diagnoses and because she can't absorb stuff. So give us a call every couple of weeks. Okay, Doug, we have a minute or 2?
We've got just under a minute.
Just under a minute. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Shar. And Shar, what advice would you give to people, who the medical system's winding down, doctors are going broke, they're leaving the country? What do they have to do to take care of themselves?
You have to take care of yourself, and everybody should get on a gluten-free diet. It's really an epidemic right now. There's been articles about it. They think over almost 3/4 of Americans, almost 3 out of 4 Americans now suffer from a gluten intolerance, and Doc thinks it's probably 90%. And the stores and everything, at restaurants now, you can get a gluten-free menu. It's epidemic, and they've doctored the food up. They're trying to kill us off. It's obvious, and we need to fight back by learning how to defend ourselves. So try to clean your diet up and take the Mighty 90. Everybody needs the Mighty 90. Everybody, based on your body weight. 190 per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's it.
That's pretty good advice. Keep oil in your car before the engine burns up. Take the 90 for Life program and add many healthy years to your life. Thank you, Shar. Thank you so much, Doug and Susan. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.